So, everyday things you can do to help with your neck are actually movements of the upper body. So one thing that's really nice to do, especially if you've been at the computer or doing a lot of activities where you've been like forward like so, is doing something called a wall angel. So you want to position yourself against the wall. If you're standing fully up against the wall, oftentimes our backs will really arch. So walk your feet out to the point where you can have that small curve of your back, hips in neutral, what we talked about earlier with the ideal posture, ribs down. Now hands go like so. Many people will still be here. So you're working to get your forearms back. And if you notice, my knuckles like to go back, but my forearm isn't there. So I almost have to drop my forearms forward. And on my left side, that's how tight as I am. How tight I am right now. So you go up and you go down. And ideally, you're working to getting your forearm move smoothly against the wall. And that is a nice way to open up the chest. As well as you're doing this, you're thinking about keeping the shoulder blades driving down your back to help retrain that area, because the more we can retrain the shoulder blades, the less stress we'll get to the neck. So another thing that we tend to do is keep our neck very stiff, especially if we have had an injury. So the first thing you're gonna do is arm swings. So just let your body be relaxed, keep your gaze forward, and just swing your arms side to side. Then you're gonna take your gaze and look over the back shoulder. And then you're going to keep your gaze forward again, but this time look over the front shoulder. And the front shoulder. And what this does, it tricks the body sometimes into getting more range of motion, because this action is this. You're getting your rotation of your head. So that's a way to get the body moved, because oftentimes when there's been an injury or we're really tight, it's almost like our body goes in protection mode. So I tell someone to move their head, they can't. And that's, I don't think it's psychosomatic. I think their nervous system doesn't know how to work. So if we can get the arms to move, the body can be tricked. Now with stretching, let's work the upper traps, commonly really tight. You can place one hand behind your back. You can even just hold it down by your side. The other hand comes up, tuck your chin some, and then pull your ear towards your shoulder. And just feel that stretch. Do both sides. Now with stretching, you can think about breathing 3 to 5 deep breaths, because the shoulders and the neck muscles definitely are interconnected. So you want to think about breathing, because as discussed, the neck muscles are definitely involved with breathing. The next one is Levator Scapulae. Now that attaches from the head to the shoulder blade. So this one is a little tricky. You take one hand, reach it in between your shoulder blades. The other hand is going to reach up, and you're going to look into your armpit, and you're going to pull your head gently down. And you'll feel that stretch a little bit on the back side of your neck, not along the side like the upper trap, just a little bit differently. Again, 30 seconds or 3 to 5 deep breaths. The next thing you're going to focus on is called cervical flexion as well as retraction. So just even dropping the chin a little bit, a lot of times we're hyperextended, meaning that we're looking up like this. So we just want to drop our chin ever so gently to get that length. And then retraction is pushing back. I talked a little bit about this when we talked about posture. On the total gym, one way to work on flexion, which is really important, is to work those deep cervical muscles. So from here, if I ask someone to lift their head, oftentimes they're doing this, which is placing an enormous amount of torque and stress on the neck. If you can nod your chin ever so gently, keep that nodding, and think about lifting your head. Now keep your chin down, almost like you're pushing your chin back. You're leading, bringing your head back. Now that's working the deep muscles of the neck. So you're going to nod. Think about making it almost like an arc, like you're leading with your forehead. That's why I cue people versus leading straight up. You feel the neck. You want to feel like there's tension and support, but you don't want to feel like there's strain. See the difference here versus here? Yes, you have a little extra chin, so that's okay. And then you lead as you go back. It's almost like you're pulling back a little bit more. That's extremely important to help prevent some neck stress. So when you start doing pullover exercises or any exercise with the upper body, really think about that neck staying elongated and nice and aligned. Lastly, to work retraction, you can have the board open or close, but instead of being here with your head dropping down, think about pulling your chin and your nose away, and it's almost like you're pushing the back of the head up toward the ceiling and back down, just lifting your head up and away. So if you have the glide board supporting you, It's just a few inches. And notice nothing else is getting moved in my spine. So you want to work anywhere when you're working the cervical flexors as well as the extensors, these kind of exercises. Think about strength and endurance. So again, you're working maybe 45 to 60 seconds of these exercises, going up varying tempos. To start, you might just start off with 5 reps and build up from there.